my name's Alex. I like making things and I like dressing up. Today we're gonna make a DIY rug.
Really probably should have had that prepared.
Okay, so things you need. First, you need this meshy material. It's a square mesh pattern. You can get it at your local craft store. You need this tool. The type of rugs that we're making, they're called like latch or latch rugs, something like that. But this is the tool. And then you need yarn. That's it. That's all you need. You need those three things and time and patience. You don't want the thin yarn, you don't want the silky yarn, preferably this thick, like this kind of thick yarn. The thicker the better.
As we say about our women.
Then you just need an idea of what you want to make, and that's what's best about this DIY rug making, is because you can make whatever the heck you want. I've made a soot sprite for my goddaughter, I've made a carrot, and right now, today, I'm going to be making a Monstera Leaf. I have no idea how long this will take me. We're gonna find out. Alright, so first I recommend drawing your design out on paper and then laying your mesh over the top and tracing it with a Sharpie. Okay, so the lines of my leaf are going to be this lighter green color, and then everything else is going to be this dark green, and that's why this is so gigantic. This was about $12, this was about $4. So when you do this, you can start just row by row and just going up the whole way, especially if you have it drawn out so you know which color to put where. But I think I'm actually going to start by doing all of the lines with this first, and I'm going to make them like maybe 2 or 3 squares thick, so that way they just are really defined in the whole rug. So the yarn, you need to cut it into about 2-inch pieces, and just cut it in batches, that way you're not cutting too much and wasting yarn. And then now I guess I'll show you how to attach these to the rug. Okay, so you have your latch at your top, and you take your string and you put it behind this stem part, and then you move your latch through one of the holes into your canvas. So you push it through the hole, and then you push it up through above it. Like you want the whole latch up here above it, and then you want this yarn behind your stem. And then you take both ends of your yarn, and then you open the latch and you put both ends through, and you hold these both ends and then pull the latch through the bottom. One more time. Put the string behind, close your latch, put it through the hole. This is a lot easier to do on carpet instead of on a flat surface. Your string is behind the stem, you open the latch, pull both ends through, and then pull your latch through, and then pull and tighten.
Like I said, I'm going to make these about 3 thick, just to make sure the veins are very defined in my rug.
I hope that was very easy to follow. It's really hard to record up close. And so begins my perilous journey through rug making. Will my wrist fall off? Will I lose all sensation in my fingers? Will this be the best rug that ever rugged? We will soon find out. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I easily cut up a bunch of pieces of yarn. I take something that's about 1 inch wide that I can wrap the yarn around a bunch, and then once I have it wrapped up, on the side that the end is on, just cut up the side, and then you have a bunch of 2-inch pieces. Ah, look at that beautiful outline. Little does she know, she has no idea what she's in for. Sadly, today was a very muggy and rainy day, so our mood is going to be set. If the lighting changes because of that, you know why. Also, Zuko came to supervise. Just to get an estimate of how much time I spent on this for day 1, I watched 7 episodes of Doctor Who. Here I am contemplating leaving it as just a mustache. I decided to sit my rump on the floor today because I thought, who wants feeling in their butt anyway? I don't know why I made this decision, and I soon regretted it and moved back to the couch. Day 3, and I was completely over this rug. I set out to make this rug, but I believe it's made me miserable. It's made me miserable. I then thought, hey, might as well water my actual living plants. I spent more time than necessary debating with the rug gods if I could simply water it like my plants and have it complete itself. The results were inconclusive. Fun fact, I was looking at the packaging for the dark green yarn and discovered the color is called I'm Jealous. So this rug really is a petty little floor goblin. For those of you that are statistically inclined, I used 10,662 pieces of dark green yarn for this rug. That means 21,324 inches or 54.6 meters. Now on day 4, my back hurt, my wrist hurt, and there was no recording being made today. I wanted to be the couch gremlin that I am inside and lay in the most random position possible and do as much as I could without having to worry about a camera placement. Day 969 of confinement, or 5 if you're counting. I'm almost done. The end is in sight. I'm determined to finish today. I cannot wait for the day when I no longer have to hold tiny green fibers in my hand. I'd like to say this process is therapeutic, and I may be slightly influenced by my personal torture at the moment, but I don't want you having unrealistic expectations. This is equal parts satisfying and a sense of accomplishment as you see your rug grow, and your own stint in purgatory where that thing happens where you hate the entire process and it takes forever, but once it's done and over with, you completely forget all the pain and time and go, oh, that wasn't too bad. So, win-win, really. Look at it go. I never have to do this again. Oh my god. Now the most important instruction of all is when you're done, you need to have someone there to massage your back. Zuko does not take this job lightly. He is prepared. He is there to make sure all of my aches and pains go away. Give him paws up for a good job in the comments. Hey look, I only used like half of the roll. I could make another one. Okay, now that we have our rug all done, finally, we're going to cut a border around the edges that's about 2 or 3 squares thick.
Just a side note, but now is a good time when you have it upside down to make sure you didn't miss any squares. It's easy to see all the spots when it's upside down. And I also recommend cutting it upside down. Anyway.
Okay, now as far as finishing the edges, there's multiple ways you can go about it. You could just super glue not super glue, well you could super glue, but you could hot glue the edges, which is what I did with this one. I just hot glued and folded over all the edges all the way around. If you have one that is square or rectangular or straight edges, this is going to be super easy. If you have one like mine that is not square or straight, this is going to be a pain in the butt. I'm gonna try and show you as best I can how to do this, but this is gonna be a very fun process. Get a needle that has a big hole. You get a lot of thread of like the main color of your rug. Mine is obviously the dark green. So what we do is we take our needle, we go from behind and under, and we go in the square above where we're folding, and we're folding right at the edge. So you go the square above and you pull this all the way through. So once you pull that all the way through, you just pull it tight, not too tight, but pull it tight. And then we're creating like this looped edge along the border.
Here's where the fold is, right at the edge. You take your needle, you go through the square at the bottom, and you pull it all the way through. And then pull it tight.
And then where you start, I went ahead and started so you could see how this is looking with this folded over and sewn. But I left the end at the start, and I'll tie that off at the end. Okay, so now that we're at this curve, I'm going to fold following the edge of my design. And I'm just going to loop this through multiple layers of this to keep it all in place. So I just did this spot. So now I'm going to turn and go through the same spot at the other direction. Okay, so I turned a direction and I'm just going to tighten it up. And now I have a corner. And then I'm just going to keep folding this as I go along the edge. Well, that was straight up miserable to do. I don't know if that was worse or that like latching on thousands of pieces of yarn was worse. But I'm leaning towards sewing up the edges. Never ever sew up round edges. Make it straight. Whatever you do, make your lines straight. It will save you so much pain. Or just hot glue them. Just freaking glue them. Don't sew them.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
All joking aside, here's what the back looks like so far. For tight curves in the corners, I actually ended up cutting the mesh, and then I would like go through and where they overlap, I would feed the yarn through both so that it's a nice and secure hold. And then I'm going to actually, Zuko, no. I'm going to actually go around and where like, because it's so curved, there's some buckling. I'm going to hot glue some of these down just in certain spots, like where I cut. And then we're going to glue the backing to make sure it's all secure and safe. Here is where I started the weaving, and then here's the end. And I just tied these together, and then I'll cut probably to here and just weave the slack through just to make it nice and secure on both sides. And yeah, just gotta glue the backing and it will be done. The sides do look really good from the front though. They look nice and cohesive.